dealing with duplicates and linked objects in Blender. So over here we have the default cube, right? So I'm just going to show you what's the benefits of duplicating and having an object linked. Well, the difference between those two would be as simple as this. So remember, over here at our outliner we have this information here, so we can see that this is the cube, and below it has the details of the cube, like the mesh data and stuff like that. And then if you apply materials onto it, it then goes in there, right? So if we go with Shift D, right, we've just made a duplicate of the object itself. So now if you go over there, you'll see that it says cube 001. So why is this important? Well, the reason why it's important is because as soon as you start rendering out your animation, if you duplicated your object, what happens is your computer will then calculate it as well. Alright, like it needs to calculate as well. So if you go over here and you press Alt D and you move it across like this, what happens then now is the duplicate will be duplicated, however it's linked, meaning if we go underneath over here, you'll see that it has the same data and information as this one over here, as the main file. Now, the reason why this is very helpful and useful is because once you render your animation, it will not use a lot of computing power. Like for example, the other useful information would be, for example, even though it's linked, if we go into edit mode, you can then see now, let's just say for example this was a specific building or tree that you linked, right, and you needed to do some changes to it. So if we do some changes to it, you can see that it affects all the objects that's in your scene. Like for example, let's just say a branch or building or a rock or something like that you wanted to change, and now you can change all of the rocks or branches or whatever object that's in your scene. You can change immediately. The other cool thing about this is if you go into object mode, right, you can scale and rotate it and it won't affect it. However, if you go in edit mode, you would see that it does affect it after all. So that's the good thing about it, and as you can see that it's using the same information and data, so that will make sure that your computer is running smoothly and awesome.